first one will be the first Noel, and the words will be on the screens. The first Noel, the angels did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. They looked and up and saw a star shining in the east, way on them far, and through and there it gave great light, and so it's continued both day and night. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. This starry night to the end of rest, I guess you didn't have all the verses to that one. I heard a lot of la-di-da-da-das. That's great. All right. Hopefully there's 3 verses of this one. It came upon... There are not? 2 verses. Good to know. All right. Let's see. It came upon the midnight clear that Lord
Well, good morning. Oh, no, afternoon. Good evening. It is Christmas Eve, right? Okay, I'm here with you now. Okay, I'm getting here. I want to welcome each and every one of you here to this service. And as usual, we'll start off by opening with a gong and an opening prayer. And so now let's take this moment to prepare ourselves, not only for this service, but for this holiday, to prepare our hearts and open them wide as we come to understand that the Christ is born in us each and every day. No matter where we are, no matter how we're serving, no matter how we're working, the Christ is present through you. You are the divine expression of the Christ. And Jesus taught that as our wayshore. And so this evening we celebrate his birth. We celebrate the understanding of who and what we are and how we are rising up and how we are saying yes, yes, yes to peace, understanding, faith, and joy. And so it is. Amen. As in every service, we're certainly going to have some announcements. So let's just move through these fairly quickly. Let's start here with the first one, which says that there is no Sunday service tomorrow. If you show up, I'll guarantee the doors will be locked. And Vicki said she's not coming out to take care of everything, okay, to make sure everybody's okay. Although she's insisted to do that before in the past, during snowstorms. Anyway, and so there's no Sunday service. January the 1st, we will have a 10 a.m. normal service. That's a Sunday. It's the Burning Bowl service. If you've never attended a Burning Bowl service, I really suggest that you get up on that New Year's Day and start your year off right, because it will touch your heart and it will prepare you for the new year. Then on January 8th, we're going to have our White Stone ceremony, where once we've gotten rid of everything that we don't want to carry into the new year, we now say, how are we going to show up in the new year? And we will celebrate that. And then during January, starting on January 8th, through the end of the month, I will be teaching Lessons in Truth. Lessons in Truth is going to be about an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. And it will take place at 11:45 each Sunday after, of course, we get our coffee and we get our food, okay? And then we'll be ready for it. And so I invite you to that. As some of you know, it's the first class I ever took in Unity. It's the first book I ever read about Unity, and it captured my heart. And I've been teaching for 25 years now. So I know a little something about it, but you know the thing is amazing. Every time I read the book, Lessons in Truth, I find a new paragraph in there or a new statement in there, and I go, where did that come from? I mean, after 25 years. So then what happens is it's a time for you, if you are so called, to become a candidate for our Board of Trustees. We are looking for people who are committed to Unity, committed to this ministry, who want to serve, who want to open their hearts and their minds to what Unity is, and to step into that as an opportunity of sacred service. So as you, there are packets out front, which you can take, tells you the information you can fill out if you're interested. Or if you want to talk to somebody, you can talk to myself, or you can talk to Raimi, or you can talk to Denise, or Pat Arnold, who's the chair of our nominating team. And then the other thing here is that, you know it's cold outside, don't you? I mean, I know it's cold outside. And so colder than anything I'm quite experienced on a long-term basis. I mean, day after day, all right? And so anyway, and I'm actually enjoying it, by the way. I like it. But we are collecting warm clothing as donations for those who may not have that and need it during this time. What a wonderful way in which to say, we love you. And then there's a game night on the last Wednesday of the month here at Unity of Richmond in the foyer, it says here. Does it say? No, I'm sorry. Where did I say? I thought I had forgotten about them. The game will be here at Unity of Madison on Wednesday night. And Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. on the lower level. They never asked me to do announcements again after this. Okay, and then here's a biggie. Annual membership renewals start in January. So don't let your membership lapse. One of the things that's in the bylaws is that every year you have to re-sign up as a member to retain your membership status. If you have not done that in the last couple of years, you can still do it and sign up during January, and your membership will be renewed. If you've been longer than that, then you'll have to take a little class with me just to remember and renew some of the thoughts and some of the promises of Christmas, of unity, okay? And so I want to honor you with that opportunity, and I'd be glad to meet with you if you have not been a member for more than 2 or 3 years, Rami. 2 years, thank you, more than 2 years, thank you. Okay, so that got us through the announcements. And let's now see what's next on the agenda. O come, all ye faithful.
So we light this candle for faith. This candle for peace. This candle for love. This candle for joy. And this candle for the Christ that is born in us tonight. And our scripture reading, stay put. Our Christmas reading tonight is from Isaiah 9:6. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, mighty God, everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And the daily word for today, Christmas Eve, I prepare to welcome the Christ within. On the first Noel, Mary and Joseph demonstrated their willingness to journey forth in faithful love. Under arduous circumstances, two good parents brought forth and nurtured a great light into the darkness of a struggling world. On Christmas Eve, I affirm the original blessing of all people, the indwelling Christ. My Advent journey has guided me as I have grown in faith, wrapped myself in peace, deepened in love, and delighted in joy. I have prepared for a wondrous arrival throughout the Advent season, and now the moment is here. The Christ is about to be born anew. As the darkness vanishes before the flickering light of a candle, the birth of the Christ drives out the darkness of the world. And from Luke 1:48, surely from now on all generations will call me blessed.
Are you going to do something special, or am I supposed to do something special?
I came up at the wrong time.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you. I mean, if you guys want to do a duet, you're welcome to. Yeah. All right. Are there any children here tonight? Steve, anybody else? Right back here. There's a young man there, okay? All right, young man, would you like to come up and sit up front here? Would you mind? No, you don't want to? It's okay. You have to stay right there. Now, are there any other people who are in their second childhood who might like to come up and sit right and just pull a couple chairs right up here? Yeah, thank you, Lloyd. I knew that. I had no doubts, okay? Yeah. Now, you got to pull your chair up a little bit here, okay? And, oh, come here comes Kate. Come on, pull your chair up a little bit. I need somebody for an audience here. Thank you. Okay. There we go. Children everywhere.
I'm going to do the whole children message.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Thank you. I can't get that low, but you stay right there, okay? Oh, goodness. This is for the children everywhere, including ourselves. You know, as we know, tonight's a very special night. It's Christmas Eve. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited about every Christmas Eve because I've lived, and there have been a lot of them. Are you excited about Christmas Eve? Yeah, looking forward to, maybe you've opened your presents already. I don't know. How many people have? I want to know. Yeah, I know. Those are those who will always look in the closet. And so anyway, we're looking forward to the presents. You know, it's also a time to remember that Jesus was born 2,000 years ago in a stable in Bethlehem. You know, that's a very special present, too. And maybe sometimes we wonder about Christmas Eve. Are we celebrating the Christ child or Santa Claus? Maybe both. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I want you to use your power of imagination 2 or 3 times as we talk this Christmas about this story, because I want to share a story about a little boy who received a velveteen rabbit for Christmas. This little boy takes out the rabbit from his stocking, and because it wasn't mechanical, because it wouldn't do anything fancy, he stuffs it in the toy closet. Now, when the velveteen rabbit found himself in the toy closet, he also found that all the toys talked to each other. However, none of them were talking to him. He felt so sad. He felt neglected. And you know, the more expensive and mechanical toys, they really thought they were the stuff. They thought, wow, I'm here and we're going to have a great time with the little boy, and you stuffed animals just sit over there in the darkness. But one day, he had a long talk with Skin Horse and shared that he wanted, more than anything, to become a real rabbit. Now, the Skin Horse, you see, had lived a very long time, and he was the oldest of anything in the nursery. He was old and wise and understanding. He was so old that his brown coat was bald in patches. And most of the hairs in his tail had been pulled out. He had seen many expensive wind-up mechanical toys arrive to boast and pretend to be the one, but one by one they would break and be thrown away. He knew that they were only toys and would never turn into anything else. Well, the Velveteen Rabbit was confused, so he began asking lots of questions, important and serious questions about life. He asked the Skin Horse, "What is real? What is real?" And the Skin Horse said, "I cannot tell you what is real, but you have to experience it." And then the little rabbit said, "Does that mean that I'm supposed to buzz inside to be real? Does it mean that I have to get a little stick that sits out my side so they can wind it up to be real?" And the Skin Horse said, "No, it's nothing like that. When someone loves you for a long, long time, not just to play with, but really loves you, then you become real." "Does it hurt?" "Sometimes," said the Skin Horse, for he was always truthful. "When you are real, you don't mind being hurt. You can get over being hurt because of love." "Does it happen all at once, like being wound up, he asked, or bit by bit? Well, it doesn't happen all at once, the skin horse said. You become real. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't become or happen often to people who break easily or have sharp edges or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off. Your eyes drop out. Somebody laughing at me? Anyway, your eyes drop out, and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand you and who do not see you as who you are. The rabbit said, well, I suppose you're real. The skin horse only smiled. Yes, the boy's uncle made me real. He said that I was a great many years ago. But once you are real, you become unreal again. It lasts forever. Then something happened. The boy was playing with his china dog, and it had been misplaced. So his nana got up and went and got the Velveteen Rabbit out of the closet and put it in the little boy's lap. From that day on, the Velveteen Rabbit became the little boy's constant companion. Weeks passed, years passed, and the little rabbit grew very old and shabby. But the boy loved him just the same. He loved him so hard that he loved all his whiskers off, and the pink lining to his ears turned gray, and his brown spots faded. He even began to lose his shape, and he scarcely looked like a rabbit anymore, except to the boy. The Velveteen Rabbit's companionship with the boy lasted until the boy falls ill with scarlet fever and cannot play for a very long time. Upon his recovery, he is sent to the seaside on doctor's orders. The doctor ordered that all the toys the boy had played with, including the rabbit, be burned in order to disinfect the nursery. The boy is given a new plush rabbit and is so excited about the trip to the seaside that he forgets about his Velveteen Rabbit. While awaiting the bonfire in which the Velveteen Rabbit will be burned, something wonderful happens. The rabbit cries a real tear. This tear brings forth the nursery magic. This tear brings forth the nursery magic fairy. And she tells the rabbit that he was only real to the boy. So she brings him to the woods and kisses him, making him real to everybody. He soon discovers that he is a real rabbit at last, and runs to join the other rabbits in the wild. The following spring, the boy sees the rabbit hopping in the wild and thinks he looks like his old Velveteen Rabbit, but never knows it actually was his shaggy old rabbit. Maybe you have a special toy or stuffed animal that you loved. Maybe someone has loved you into being real. And you know that the transformative power of love is so powerful that it changes the way you see other people, and it changes the way that you see yourself. So Christmas is a time to help us remember who we are, to remember to love one another, to remember to reach out to one another, and to see in each other the Christ child, born again and again and again. The same love that Jesus, the baby in the manger, knew was real is also inside of you. You are that child of love, and you too are loved into being real. Here's how it happens. It happens by giving and receiving. It's a great law of love. When you get a hug, then give a hug. Sometimes you need to be the first one. Sometimes when there are difficulties between two individuals, maybe you're the one who steps out towards the other person and makes the amends. And in doing so says, I love you. You also remember you may feel a tear of sadness or hurt when you love someone that doesn't love you back. But that's okay. You can't control that person. What you can control is your love and seeing the Christ in them. Now, I want to do one other thing here. And do you have that mirror? Thank you. Don't let anybody see this, okay? Thank you very much. Yeah, that's good. Hide it right there. Okay, now. All right, here we go. Now, Katie, I want you... Oh, this is a manger, by the way. I mean, what can I say? Yeah, this kind of looks like this, okay? So use your imagination. And this beautiful manger, let's just see who is in there. So, Katie, I want you to look in, and I want you to behold the Christ child.
I really put myself in the...
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Now, Lloyd, I want you to look in, and I want you to behold the Christ child. And Raimi, I want you to behold the Christ child. Oh, way down there. It moved. Use your imagination now, okay? There you go. I'll hold it more steady. There you go. Can you see it?
Well enough.
Yes, you did. Each of them were looking at themselves. That's the child in the manger. God bless.
I'm sticking with you, girl.
Boom, boom, boom. You got it?
On December 5 and 20, boom, boom, boom. On Well, I'll just say hello while I'm getting set up. I'm Reverend Vicki Bunch, and occasionally Richard lets me speak too. How about that? So, all right, Reverend Richard, if you would do the honors. I just want to tell you how delighted I am to be here tonight. This is a very special evening for all of us, and especially here at Unity of Madison, when you have been so kind to us. You've opened your homes. You've opened your hearts to us, and you have invited us to be a part of your community. Thank you. I really mean it. Thank you. And so tonight, as we focus on the Christ, I want you to really think about yourselves and how you show up and how the hallowed night is about you. You know, when I heard the song that we just sang in the choir, my heart leapt. And Pete Colgaro wrote that song. You know, there's something about the creative experience that we all share, and when we see that expression come out in one of us, Pete is one of you, and you see it come out in one of us, then what happens is it gives us inspiration. And don't we need it about this time of year? It's a little cold here. Sub-zero temperature is not what we're used to in Virginia. However, you have ways of handling it here that are so fabulous. And once we're out on the highway, we don't even notice the snow or the ice anymore, so we're getting used to it. And finding our way around. So Christmas Eve, we're all about singing from our hearts, singing these carols, thinking about ways to give gifts, finding ways to support those in need and generously give to those who do not have the warmth that you and I have. So what we want to do tonight is look at the Christmas story as our story. Let's claim it, just like Pete helped us do. So the words, "We birth the Christ," just changed everything for me when I heard those lyrics. We birth the Christ. You know, it touches me to think about how, I don't know about you in your life, but there were years that I was fairly depressed. And I didn't have new thought, I didn't have unity, I didn't have friends who were familiar with facing their own shadow sides. And when I read the words, "We birth the Christ," it gave me that understanding that all of us need to come from a position of our own personality and the spirituality that is the healthiest we can find. And for me, that has been new thought. And putting them together helps us evolve. When I was depressed, I didn't know how to evolve. I was stuck, really stuck. If you've ever felt that in yourself, you know how it feels. It's so frustrating. And you know you have that creative energy inside, yet you do not know what to do with it. So we began in new thought to just shape things up. We say there's a Trinity, there's divine mind, there's divine expression, there's divine idea. And that divine idea is the Christ in you. That's the Christ in me. And that's the one that can birth the Christ to create new ways, bring new insights, bring joy back into our lives. But there's work. It takes real work. I know when I have found myself in the Christ mind, I'm not doing anything. I'm not forcing, I'm not pushing. I just show up. And someone says, oh, thank you for that. I now understand a little bit better. And so when you and I are in this giving place of the Christ, we're also receiving, aren't we? So there's a relationship, a healthy relationship. Now, Richard and I recently went with some of you to the Overture Center for Performing Arts, and we saw a play called All Is Calm. Many of you may have seen it. It's the Christmas truce of 1914, First World War. And let's see, it was Britain, France, and Russia were fighting Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy. That European war was unbelievable because these were in close proximity to one another. These countries were perhaps brothers and sisters, families. And one German soldier stepped forward and had the courage to put down his rifle and to say, I've just stepped into no man's land. Please join me in this song, Stille Nacht, Silent Night. And he risked his life for others. But you know, others wanted the time together with others. It was Christmas. And so one by one, they placed their weapons down, and they began to share pictures of their families. They began to talk about their lives and share themselves with the supposed enemies. Each soldier had a part in making that happen. Not one of them tried to damage or hurt or wound the other side. So let's talk about our own lives. The same thing is true. We just underestimate each of us having this strength and this courage within us to step forward and say, I want to do something different. I want to take this action. I want to call this person. I want to reach out to this group. And others are saying, why would you even want to do that? Especially at a time of such global transformation that we're in now, stepping forward may seem to be rather precarious. But if we look back at the Christmas story, we see it played out for us, and we can remember it this evening. Mary and Joseph were in a great deal of stress. She being the spiritual heart and Joseph being the spiritual intellect. Both of them needed to get out on the road to Bethlehem Mary was expecting a child, but there could have been shame, blame, there could have been danger back in Nazareth. And so their journey was one of just believing in themselves and being willing to birth that new idea that Mary was carrying. That she was carrying the anointed one, the Messiah. That was her way of moving in the world and carrying that next step. And so Joseph, in his love and his wisdom, found the place, found the innkeeper who opened his heart. And as this is a legend, let's say, and this legend is all about a stable or a cave or somewhere on the property of this loving individual that opened his heart. Isn't this story magnificent? You know, there's King Herod. He wants to kill all the firstborn males, babies, in the hopes of killing off Jesus, who could have been a threat to him. I mean, think there were shepherds in this story. There are angels in this story. There are astrologers, wise men. All were there to witness this child's divine potential. So people have been swept up in this story for over 2,000 years, and yet this story is here to carry universal truth so that tonight it can be our story. We are all the Christ child. We're all the Christ. And we're born into a world of uncertainty, and we're needing protection before we can realize our divine potential and manifest any of our divine ideas. Do you see? The story is about a journey, just like our life journey that you and I are on now. Are you familiar with a man named James O'Day? He wrote a book called Creative Stress and Living Through Personal and Planetary Upheaval. That was years ago, but he was very involved in the noetic sciences. He was part of Amnesty International at Washington, D.C., and he was involved in many of the social healing activities in terrorist areas. And his primary mission was to promote peace by transmuting the shadow within people and situations to see the good. And it was only by helping that transformation occur that there could be a change of heart, a change of attitude, and faith. And what are the others rhyming? Let's see, there's love and the Christ and joy. That's how we make the shift. So it takes time, it takes commitment, and it also takes an effort for us to put down our defense systems. Our natures can get in the way of being real. So it's our job to evolve. It's our job to conduct our business on the planet in ways to resolve differences rather than to create differences. And it's our job to mature. How we go about it is really the question. So where do we start? And honestly, when we go back and ask ourselves, how do we birth the Christ? It's always ourselves. We start here. So let's just think about how we can master ourselves this evening. It really takes effort to love ourselves and forgive ourselves, doesn't it? But that's where we start. It takes effort to love and forgive others when they hurt us or reject us. It takes effort to give gifts anonymously without any recognition. It takes effort to minister to those in prisons and shelters and mental settings or retirement homes. And it takes effort to inspire hope. Hence, we need tonight this quiet time together. It's very reverent to do the inner work. But back in the 17th century, a man named Angelus Silesius, a 17th century Catholic priest and mystic, said, "Though Christ 1,000 times in Bethlehem be born, if he's not born in you and me, our souls are all forlorn." So the verse that Raimi read earlier today from Isaiah, it really foreshadows that part of ourselves that needs to take on the authority of spirit to birth the Christ in us, to show our light and live lives as beautiful expressions of the One. So this night, may we all feel so loved, as did the Velveteen Rabbit that Richard read to us, that we don't care if our hair is falling out, or if we are dressing in the latest style, or we're dressing shabby chic. We don't care, because our soul is filling up. Our soul is spilling over, and the joy that we feel inside is given to one another freely. And the joy that we need to give ourselves is given lovingly. So, I can't wait to see how you as a community shed the past, move forward into the light, and become all you can be, especially at this time, this time in our society where we need to step forward with courage. So this is your life story, and this is your love story, and this is your Christmas story, your gift from me. Just love it and cherish it. And I give you my blessings for continued Christ-centered love and respect for one another. Namaste. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Thank you, Vicki. Thank you. So now we come to this opportunity to take a few moments and go within. And as the lights go down, I offer you this opportunity just to be in this moment, in this place, knowing that Christmas is for you. And as you gently relax into this time, you are in the now moment. You are focusing on you and the divinity that you are. And as you do, you become aware of a light shining within you. And if you're real quiet and real steady, you can begin to feel the warmth of that light, bringing us all together as one in this sacred moment. You can feel in this very moment the spirit of love that we share with one another, that many of you have been sharing together for years. And for those who are newer, you are embraced in this love. And you become this love. And as the light within you continues to grow, affirm that that light is moving outside of you, guiding you, directing you. And in this time of silence, feel the warmth, feel the love, feel the peace, feel the joy. Feel the Christ within you. And from this time of silence, feel your heart saying, yes, yes, I am the Christ. Yes, I can share the love. Yes, I can make a difference in my family, with my friends, with my associates, with the world itself, because I am expressing. I am the expression of all the good, all the glory, all the power that Jesus revealed to us and knew that that power was within us. And so for this evening, we give thanks and say, amen. Okay, well, it's time for the offertory. Now, I want to remind you that it's close to the end of the year, and this may be your last chance to write a tax-deductible check or give a tax-deductible sum to Unity of Madison. Unity of Madison has been here for years. It's been here for you, and what a wonderful way to share with a gift this evening. So I'm going to ask our ushers to come forward, and as they do, they will collect this offering. And as we prepare for that, let us, if it's up here, it is not. Okay, now I've got to remember it. Let us together, somebody know the beginning of it? Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am blessed. Thank you.
Bring the light of hope to all people. Bring the light of hope to the world. Bring the light of hope every moment. Bring the light as we shine. So shall we know hope. Bring the light of peace to all people. Bring the light of peace to the world. Bring the light of peace every moment. Bring the light as we shine. So shall we know peace. Bring the light of love to all people. Bring the light of love to the world. Bring the light of love every moment. Bring the light as we shine. So shall we know love. Bring the light of joy to all people. Bring the light of joy to the world. Bring the light of joy every moment. Bring the light as we shine. So shall we know joy.
And our ushers bring forth the gifts this evening. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each of you for the gifts that you are to Unity of Madison, the gifts you've given all year long. Not just the monetary gifts, but the real gifts of love, the real gifts of time, the real gifts of service. But in all of Madison, thank you for what you do. And I now say thank you for these gifts. And we bless these gifts knowing that they will bless each of us and our community. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
Rose and blue.
Pete, I want to thank you, not just for the night, but for the talent you are, to the blessing you are to this ministry. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Now, it says candle lighting procession, but we're not going to do a procession because I figured that would get a little too complicated. And it's too cold outside. So anyway, here's what I want you to do. As the lights are dimmed, I'd like for you to take and turn this light on. And then at an appropriate time, we will start to sing Silent Night. And as we do, I'm going to ask everybody to move to the walls and stand next to each other as we circle this room. I don't know how you're going to do that, but figure it out. And I think what you will feel, what you will experience, will touch your hearts. Pete? you do, we come to the end of the service, but it's not the end of the day. It's not the end of the Christ. It is the beginning. May each of you be blessed with this merry, merry Christmas season. May each of you walk into the new year, knowing that you are strong, knowing that there is hope, knowing that your faith will bring forth the Christ Spirit. And so it is. Amen. You can now turn your light off.